Okay, let's go ahead and get started. For everybody that joined new, my name is Orlando Salazar. From my side, I also have Tiago and Manoj. They're going to be your presenters for today, and they're going to be talking about various topics. Before we get started, I would like to set some ground rules. This webinar is being recorded, so at any time, if you would like a copy of it, just let us know and we can send it over to you. Also, if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to feed those into the questions tab on the GoToWebinar panel, and we'll get to those as you ask them. Also, at the very end, we're going to have a Q&A where we can talk about those questions that you may have. Besides typing your questions, you can raise your hand and we can give you the ability to actually speak your question if that's something that you would like to do. Today's agenda is going to look like this. We're going to have this brief intro. Then I'm going to pass it over to Manoj, and he's going to talk about the reseller model, company info, some partner benefits, events and marketing, licensing and pricing, and then a Q&A. That's it from my side, so I'm going to pass it over to Manoj, and he's going to get started with today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Orlando. Hi, my name is Manoj, and I'm here a part of customer engagement with Vembu Technologies. So let's talk about a little bit about the traditional reseller model we have now, and we're gonna say that the traditional reseller model is nearing extinction. So how and we understand that everyone is wondering that the reseller model now seems to be healthy, but how come we can say that the reseller model is nearing extinction? What actually a typical traditional resellers do is like they're gonna purchase the product from the product based companies, and they're gonna resell it to the customers at a different pricing. Now what we did is like we just observed the market trends with a dedicated team, and we had a look around and we made some studies around the recent market trends happening, and we realized the fact that the customers started realizing that when they purchase it from the resellers, they're gonna get it on an additional price or an increased price where they're gonna get no any value added to the product. Instead, they prefer to go directly to the companies whom is actually offering the product to the market, and they're gonna get it to the best price. So the problem here is when the customer purchases a product from a traditional reseller, he's not getting anything additional to the product or any value added to the product. So that's a problem happening with the traditional reseller model. So this had a very remarkable impact on the current market, where the customers are gradually migrating and they're going to make a direct purchase from the product vendors. This in future excludes the traditional resellers out of the business cycle we have. So to address this, there is something which we call it as a hybrid value-added reseller model, which is effective and which has the potential of extending an indefinite business cycle with the customers by making some changes in the way where the reselling works. So this is something like where instead of purchasing a product directly from the product vendor and selling it to the customers without making any added value, where in this particular model as a reseller he's gonna add some value to the product he's reselling, and then he's gonna give it to the customers. So instead of a point blank product, what the customer gonna get is like it's a bundled product where there's gonna be the actual product added to that some value added services like support and the direct care after sale from the particular resellers. So by this way, the customer can ensure that the product he has purchased is good, and even after the purchase, there is somebody to take care of the product when the customer is actually actively using the product on his production environment. So this particular model ensures a business cycle between the hybrid value-added resellers and the customers, which has an infinite period, and whereas our existing traditional business model has a short lifespan, only it can extend the max up to 6 months. So uh, to let's get more deep about the hybrid value-added reseller model we're gonna talk about. So we take an example like let's take a software where you're gonna get the software license from the product company at a cost of X, and added to that, when you go and provide it to a customer, you're gonna add some more thing to the product cost, like let's say like you're going to do the installation for the customer. You're gonna send a technician on site and make the complete deployment on the customer's environment. And let's take the charge you're gonna do for that as Y. And again, as you are going to be the first point of the customer, when there is a need for a software, the customer gonna come back to you and make some consultation like, hey, I'm gonna need some backup software. Hey, I'm gonna need some security software. So he's gonna give you what exactly his requirements are. And as a reseller or as a hybrid value-added reseller, you're gonna provide him the exact guidance. What is the best product which suits for his environment and which exactly meets his all requirements in terms of technical as in terms of all mode which is effective for the customer's environment. So let's take it as a consulting or an ongoing maintenance cost as Z. So at the end of the deal, you're going to purchase the software from the software vendor only with the license cost as X. And when you're going to provide it to the end customers, you're going to provide it with a bundled cost of X plus Y plus Z. So together there will be a bundled price which you're going to offer it to the customer. So this is not like simply buying a product and selling it to the customer. You're gonna add some value to the product which exactly make you valuable to the customer. So what happens is even after the purchase, the customer gonna be in touch with you. So whenever they are in need of a software or in a service, they're gonna get in touch with you, and the business cycle gonna extend infinitely. So by this way, you're gonna make a best profit out of the latest value-added hybrid value-added reseller model we have. So let's talk some of the advantages happening with this particular model. So in the previous model, you have the option or probability to make revenue only with the license cost, which means you're going to purchase the license at a reduced cost from the vendor, and you're going to add some pricing, add some increase it, and sell it to the end customers. So there is only one possibility where you're going to make a revenue in this particular business. Whereas with this hybrid value added reseller model, the new additional component Y and Z comes into place, where you're going to make some additional revenue, or where you're going to make the best revenue out of these particular factors in the reseller model. And again, this is a win-win situation between you and the customer, because like where the customer gonna get not only the product, he gonna get the promise, or he gonna get an extended support, he gonna get a complete care from you about the product. So this makes a customer to be in a comfort zone, and whenever he needs to some product, he gonna come back to you and he gonna make the business with you. So this is something like a win-win situation, where the reseller has the business with the customer infinitely, as well as the customer feels comfortable making and dealing business with the particular reseller instead of approaching a product-based company directly and purchasing the product. So this is how the hybrid value-added reseller model works, and that helps the value-added resellers to make a revenue in an additional way with more revenue components, as well as and make the business cycle infinitely with the customers. So let's talk a little bit about our company, Vembu Technologies. Vembu Technologies is founded in 2004. We are a private company, profitable since 2006. We are headquartered at Dallas, Texas, and we service around 4,400 partners globally, and they reach around 60,000 businesses globally. And around 70% of our customer base is centralized towards North America, and we have some 20% with Europe and 10% with Asia Pacific. We do sell the product to the value-added resellers, enterprises, and small and medium businesses. Terramark, Digital Information, Tria Infotech, Phonotech are some of our value-added resellers who are in long-term business with us and who made the business completely successful. So speaking about the product we're gonna offer, we have a couple of backup products called Vembu BDR and Vembu Online Backup. Vembu BDR is something like where you can deploy a backup server on premise, take the backup data to a local through the local network where you'll be able to do the instant disaster recovery from a local storage, and then you have an option to have an offsite copy at the cloud at the Amazon storage, secure Amazon storage. Whereas VMU online backup is something which kicks out the need of a local backup server, where you're going to directly back up the data from the client agent, from the source machine directly to the cloud. So this is actually a one-stop solution where you can back up all your physical and virtual environments together with a single software component. Either it could be a laptop, either it could be a desktop or a physical server on your production environment, or if you're running a hypervisor or a VMware environment, everything can be backed up with one-stop solution called Vembu BDR, because we are able to see that the businesses are having different products for backing up their different environments. End of the day, they are facing the difficult to manage everything with a single console, which means like they have some manageability issues when they use multiple products for backing up multiple environments. With Vembu BDR, we avoid that particular difficulty where you can use one single product, where you're going to have one single console, where from there you will be able to back up and manage all your physical and virtual environment together from the single centralized panel. So let's talk about the value-added hybrid value-added reseller model. What we do with Vembu, or the benefits what we're gonna have for our value-added resellers. So when a value-added reseller, when a reseller comes in and enrolls them as a value-added reseller for Vembu, we're gonna provide him a dedicated portal where we call it as Vembu's reseller portal. And from that particular reseller portal, a reseller can manage all his customers licensing and all his customer based requirements. Everything can be managed from this particular reseller portal. This is exclusively provided for our value added reseller who gonna come through the Vembu's WAR program. So once and when a reseller enrolls as a var for a Vembu, we're gonna provide him the portal, and we're gonna give him a complete technical training on the product and the support. Say like if you need a dedicated training session for your company in deploying the product, or with all the usability cases available within the product, we're gonna engage a dedicated team for you, where you're going to set up some standard remote sessions, and we can have a direct interaction, do some screen sharing, and get complete technical training with the product, so that when you go and provide some value-added services to your customers, you will be having the complete knowledge on the product. So again, we have a fanatic 24/7 support desk where our resellers will have a privileged access, where whenever they need some technical assistance for their end customers, they can immediately get in touch with us. We have a technician assisting you on call, and we'll be able to get all your technical requirements or the issues from the customer end can be sorted then and there instead of waiting for hours. And again, this particular part has no any additional charges with Vembu. This particular 24/7 support is completely free for our customers who are going to come through our value-added reseller program. And we are even happy to organize interactive sessions with our resellers, and we'll be happy to organize some regional events if you're interested to do some roadshows at your area for the Vimbu's products. And apart from that, what are all the things you can do with your reseller portal, in the sense we have something called deal registration, because many of the resellers will have the same question: what if my customers comes to Vembu and directly approaches you instead of coming back to me and asking for licenses? So to address this, we have something called deal registration, where if you have a set of customers or deal or leads to whom you are dealing with, you can just have them have their details registered on your reseller portal, so that what happens is even if the customer comes to Vembu and approaches directly for some business, it's gonna happen through you, and because like they're already a lead who has been registered under your particular reseller account. So whatever the transactions gonna made to the customer will be happening only through your reseller account. So by this way, we can ensure that your customers will be dealing business with Vembu only through you, and you will be the actual value-added reseller for all the Vembu's products and services on that particular region. And we have something called reseller locator. Let's say like if a particular lead approaches Vembu on a particular locality, and if you are a value-added reseller for that particular geographical region, we're gonna redirect the lead, and we're gonna say that, hey, we have a value-added reseller in this particular area, so that the end customer will directly get in touch with you, and you will be the person who gonna deploy the software, and you're gonna charge the customer for their backup needs, and you will be dealing with Vimeo. So this is we call as reseller locator. And apart from that, let's say like if you are having backup environments on your backup requirements on your own environment, we are happy to give you some NFL licenses where you can just apply it on your servers and back your own environments, and where you don't need to have a license purchase for backing up your own environment. And apart from that, we are happy to set on a joint promotions with you for your customers. We have dedicated teams who could assist you in designing the promotion and in promoting the offers to your customers with all the marketing materials, supporting documents, and the presentations what you can do for your customers. And as a value-added reseller, you will be provided with a monthly newsletter which has all the latest updates happening in the Vimeo product, so that you'll be having the complete knowledge on the product. So when an end customer approaches you and asks for some information, you will be the first person who can give a complete information to your customers. So by this newsletter, we'll keep you updated every month based on the features and updates happening inside the product. And once in when you register as a value-added reseller, you will be provided with a dedicated partner manager. So whenever you need some assistance in terms of licensing, in terms of marketing, you can directly give a call to your partner manager and get immediate assistance from your manager. So he'll be the best person who can get you the complete hands-on assistance from Vimeo to you. So you'll be under a complete care by the partner manager. And as I said, like you have a 24/7 partner phone line. You can, whenever you need some assistance, you can directly give us a call, and you can get immediate assistance. Whereas the previous model, where you need to drop an email and wait for hours to get a response, and we understand that this is really hectic for a disaster recovery environment, where the customer is really in need of the data, where there is a business in need of some recovery. So we really understand the seriousness behind this particular disaster recovery aspect. So whenever you need assistance, you can get then and there assistance. You'll be having a technician, a partner manager, everybody available on call then and there. So you'll be able to provide instant support for your customers, and you can do a complete care for your customers with the help of Vimeo. And we do have dedicated event coordinators and partner services. Say like if you're interested to organize some events on your area, we'll be happy to assist you in designing the events, and we'll be happy to join hands with you in the events and conduct the shows with you. And apart from that, as I said, like you'll have a personalized portal, and we'll provide you the case studies we normally do on the based on the markets. We usually have a research team available with us. So we completely observe the market trends happening, as well as what is happening inside the technology world. So whatever the new technology comes into the market, comes into the industry, we're going to have a research team work on it, and we're going to make sure that all the latest technologies will be available on the product, and we'll be also be educating you or providing you the complete information on that by the means of the white papers and the case studies we'll send you periodically. and we'll provide you complete presentations for the product, and also there is a brand leverage with you for you in terms of service provider relations. So there is also 24/7 reseller support. So if you need anything specifically related to assistance related to a reseller program, you can reach our reseller support and get immediate assistance about how the reseller program works, or how you can enroll yourself as a reseller. You can directly give us a call, discuss with you what exactly your customer base is like and what kind of services you do want to offer to your customers, and we'll be happy to get on a discussion with you and provide you complete hands-on assistance in enrolling you as a value-added reseller. And there is also some pre-release evaluations available within the product. So as a reseller, before we make a production release, we'll just provide you some evaluation bills where we are happy to hear back from our resellers and customers. So because Vembu's products are actually designed not by the engineers, it's actually designed by the customers. So we just want to meet and exceed the customer's requirement, what exactly customer feels and what exactly customers needs on this environment. So we used to provide the evaluation bills to our value-added resellers, so you can directly do some hands-on play around with the product. And if you feel like, hey, if this particular feature is available in this thing, it would be better. So you can. We are happy to hear back from you regarding your feedbacks and requirements, and based upon the research we do, we are happy to get it implemented as a part of updates on the product. So these pre-release evaluations will be sent to our dedicated value-added resellers, and we'll also provide you a technical training, free technical training on every release happening, and we'll just provide you a complete knowledge on the features being integrated on the product on each and every updates. And there is also a certification on the product on how to use Vembu products and how the deployment thing and how the backups and various disaster recoveries can be done. That can also be done by the resellers, value-added resellers, and you can engage a dedicated technical team from your end to get trained on the Vembu products and to provide a hands-on or on-site assistance for your end customers. So these are some of the things which are available with the partner program. So we already conducted several road shows and lunch and learn programs with our resellers, where we're gonna directly get on a road show with our resellers. We're gonna offer them lunch, and we're gonna discuss with them what exactly the business requirements are, and we're gonna have our technical team available to them directly, so they can directly get some technical knowledge directly from our technical experts, and from there they'll be able to design how the business strategy goes for their end customers, and they can provide various services on their particular customer base. And we are happy to say, like, we are happy to take that revenue that involved in organizing the road shows and the captioning services on that particular events. So these are we have a digital marketing material media kits available with us, and also we have some content generation. We have a dedicated content generation team who could prepare some press releases and social media ads and campaigns for our resellers. So anytime you can get in touch with us. So if you are looking to do some rigorous marketing on your particular customer base, we can engage our marketing team adding to your marketing efforts, and we'll provide you some knowledge sharing, and we'll help you with the hands-on assistance with the content generation, so that you can prepare some best marketing materials for your customers. And we already have a standard set of digital marketing materials with us that will be provided to you as a value-added reseller material for Vembu. So the program requirements are very simple. So you can just have a business of minimum for 2 years, and you can have a value-added reseller license from us, and you'll be provided with the extensive knowledge for Vembu's market segments, and you will also provide you some references from Vembu. So by the end of this session, you can just enroll yourself. So we'll be happy to send you the Vembu's value-added reseller application. So it will just need some basic information on your company profile. Just fill it out and send it back to us. We'll be happy to process the application, and then we'll take you as a value-added reseller for Vembu. So you can directly contact our sales desk at vembu-sales@vembu.com, or if you need some technical assistance during evaluation, you can just contact our support team at vembu-support@vembu.com. We have a hotline available for US and Canada, which is 1-844-312-5773, or from UK, you can dial us at 203-793-8668. So these are 24/7 available 24/7. So whenever you need assistance, just directly give us a call or shoot us an email. We are happy to assist all your queries, and we are we are looking for you. We are looking to do healthy business with you. So by this, we arrive at the end of the session. Let's go and see is there any questions arrived, and if you have any questions, you'll be having a question box. Just feel free to shoot us the questions, and we are happy to help you out.
Um, well, thank you, Manoj, for that great information. At this time, I don't see any questions coming in, so I'm gonna allow probably 1 or 2 minutes to see if you have any questions. If not, I will go ahead and close today's webinar. Anytime, if you do decide that you have any questions, you can always email us, like Manoj said. But if you have an immediate question, we can probably get that answer for you today. So let's go ahead and wait like 1 or 2 minutes. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and end the presentation. Thank you. Okay, I see some questions coming in. Um so the first question is, hello, I'm planning to implement backups. Can you send me the application form? Uh, yes, Praveen, we'll go ahead and send you the application form. Okay. Hey, sorry if I missed this part. What part? Okay. Okay, so we have a question. The free version trial, does it have any limitations? Gary, no, it does not have any limitations. It is 30 days full, pretty much full features. You can try it out in any of your environments. Second question, where can I get the reseller application? You can either email us and we can send it over to you, or we'll go ahead and send it to you, Udaya, just because you asked for it. Okay, next question is, where is the data store with the replicated data? Tiago, you want to go ahead and answer that one?
Yeah, so if the data is getting backed up to our cloud, so basically if you go ahead and enable an offsite backup, then the data gets backed up to our own cloud, which is running on Amazon AWS S3. We have about 5 data centers located throughout the world, and you would have the data backed up to the nearest data center.
Okay. Tiago, where can customers find the form to complete, the application form?
Yeah, what we would do is like the people who have attended the webinar, we would be sending everyone an email of the registration, the PPT, as well as the application, the reseller application. So whoever is interested, they could just go ahead and fill in those reseller application, and they could go ahead and send us back to us. So then we would go ahead and review that, and then we would go ahead and make them as a value-added reseller for our Vembu.
Great, thank you, Tiago. Next question, will there be extra for branding. We are currently not allowing rebranding, so the product is gonna stay with all Vembu logos. Um, we we went away from that type of model. Next question is, can you give me link to reseller forum? Tiago, is there a specific link to the reseller forum?
Yeah, as I told earlier, like we would be emailing all the participants who join the session. We would be sending them the reseller application form, so they need not worry about it. So everyone would be receiving the reseller application. So those who are interested, they could go ahead and very well fill in that reseller application, and they could go ahead and reply back to us or send it back to us.
Okay, thanks, Tiago. Okay, next question, Tiago. So it's all on the AWS infrastructure and not your DC?
Yes, we have the data center. We have a dedicated data center which is created on Amazon AWS S3.
So Nathan, the answer to your question is yes, it's all in AWS infrastructure.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, next question. Can you throttle backups to the cloud? My clients have limited upload limit.
Yeah, we have an option to seed the backup. So basically, if there is low bandwidth, you could just go ahead and perform a seed backup, and you could go ahead and have the data. I'm sorry, like you could throttle your bandwidth. We have a bandwidth throttling option available in the product, so you could enable the bandwidth throttling feature, and you could go ahead and restrict your backups to go ahead and use a certain amount of bandwidth. You could do that. We have that option available under settings.
Right. Thank you, Tiago. Praveen, to also kind of follow up with what Tiago was saying, you can also seed your data. So if you have a large amount of data for your first backup, you can always seed that in. And then after that, it's basically going to be incrementals, which are going to be fairly short. Okay, next question. Can you have both a local and cloud hybrid backup to a local NAS and then to the cloud? Yes, that's exactly what BDR is. BDR is meant to be an on-premise solution with an optional cloud DR. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, Praveen. Any more questions? Okay. So next question is, do you have API access for client portal?
We have customer level client APIs access.
Okay. Thank you, Tiago. Uh, can you have a NAS as your local backup device storage?
Yes, when it comes to BDR, by default, you would be using your storage. Like you could go ahead and use a storages like SAN or a NAS, where your data initially gets backed up to that storage location, and then you could go ahead and perform an offsite backup to our cloud.
Okay. I have a question from Nathan. How does the licensing model work?
Right, when it comes to licensing, yeah, give me a second. We'll have the licensing screen shared for you, the licensing and the pricing window.
Okay.
All right, so the screen which is being shared is the licensing window, the licensing for Vembu BDR. So basically, if you would like to back up your ESXi host, it costs you around $360 per annum per socket. And in case of Hyper-V, it's $240 per socket per annum. And you could initially go ahead and perform disk image backups for physical server for absolutely free of cost. And then if you enable the cloud replication or the offsite backup to our cloud, then the cloud storage cost is going to be 10 cents per GB per month. So this is going to be the pricing for resellers as well as for the end users, and you could go ahead and add some value-added services like where you could go ahead and perform the deployment. You could go ahead and perform the first level of technical support and other things, and you could go ahead and set up a margin, and you could go ahead and have that done to your clients.
Great, thank you, Tiago. Next question comes from Robert, and his question is the replication portion now working?
It's working.
Okay. Um, Next question is, can we integrate in our software?
No, we are not getting the question exactly. What kind of software you would like to integrate with Vembu? Like a reporting tool or something like that?
Yeah. Mahesh, if you could provide us some information about the type of software that you may have, then we can probably answer your question a little bit better. Now, going to Gary, it only runs on Windows Server 2008, 2012 or 2? No, Gary, it does not. It also runs on Ubuntu 14.04 LTS if you're more Linux inclined, and this is only for the backup server. The reason why we recommend these operating systems is basically because they come pre-built with a hypervisor, which allows for some features that the program has. Okay. Uh, Tiago, Mahesh says that his software is a databases.
Right, you would like to go ahead and perform backups for a database like SQL and other things. Yeah, in that scenario, maybe Mahesh could go ahead and perform a disk image backup where you could go ahead and perform a granular restore of applications. So we have recovery tools like Explorer for SQL or Exchange and SharePoint available. So you could download the free recovery tool and you could go ahead and perform granular restore of files and folders and applications too.
Okay. Thank you, Tiago. Next question is going back to the what it can run on. Can it back up Windows 8.1?
All right, with the current version, you would be able to go ahead and perform file backups for Windows 8.1. The reason is like we have Windows 8 and 8.1 in a different file system. So we are working on it to go ahead and get the disk image backups available. So maybe it would be available from our next release.
Great, thank you.
And now we don't support, currently we don't go ahead and have disk image backups available for workstations with Vembu BDR. So they could go ahead and only perform file backups. If it's a physical server, you could go ahead and perform a disk image backups for free of cost. But no more backups for workstations.
Okay, so Robert asked, replication to another site owned by customer. Is this working? So basically the question is, can you do an offsite data transfer to basically the customer's own data center instead of Bamboo's Amazon AWS?
Right. With the current version, we don't have that feature available. Maybe that would be available from the next release, which we are going to make,
Okay,
which is going to happen in another 2 months of time.
awesome. Okay, Gary also asked about Windows 10. Do we currently back up Windows 10?
No, actually, we are in the testing phase of Windows 10. So that would also be available with our next release.
Okay, great. I got one more question. Let me see. Let me put it. Are disk image portables? Example: PC crashes and buy a new PC, different make. So they're trying to go from V to P, I believe.
Yeah, you could use just by performing a disk image backup, you could actually go ahead and perform a P2V conversion, or you could also go ahead and perform a bare metal restore in case if the physical server is crashed. You could go ahead and use our recovery CD, and you could go ahead and boot your physical server which is being crashed, and you could go ahead and have the physical server recovered to the last image backup which is available.
Okay. Um, Praveen, to basically answer your question, when we take a disk image, it gets converted to a VHD. So you'll be able to actually boot that as a VM. And then from there, you can actually go from V to P also. So you can go from a virtual to a physical. So we do allow for this similar hardware and we do driver injection, which I think is what you're asking for. Okay, next question. When resellers are starting to make money, How much profit we get after sell some of our licenses?
Right. With initial stage, maybe you would be getting profit from the margins that you do, but as and when once you go ahead and have a speculated target which you achieve, based on that, you would be having some discounts with the licensing and other things and rebates.
Okay, next question comes from Robert, and his question is, have people backing up on version, can we buy additional license until you have replication to another site? I don't get the question that much. Do you get the question, Tiago?
No, I think can be.
Robert, could you rephrase your question, please? I have another question from Praveen, and his question is, what are your discount models?
Yeah, with the current reseller program, as we told in the uh, early session, we don't provide any discounts to with regards to the pricing perspective. But with when it comes to the value-added services that you could go ahead and provide to the customers, you could go ahead and use that as a margin, and you could go ahead and get more profit on that. So basically, you could go ahead and add value-added services, like you could go ahead and provide a deployment assistance. You could go ahead and suggest product. You could go ahead and have a product assistance. Then you could also go ahead and provide first level of technical support, where you could have your client contact you directly with any case of with any sort of issues, and you could go ahead and charge them for that support and other things. And based on the hybrid wire program, once you go ahead and become a value-added reseller, we go ahead and help you in performing lead generation. We go ahead and help you in having regular road shows conducted, so that we would be promoting you. So by that, you would be able to go ahead and get more margins. So the only thing that you would be paying to us would be the licensing cost. Additional is going to be the Y and Z, which was considered or which was told in the webinar, would be a huge amount for you as a profit.
Okay, thank you, Tiago. Next question, can we have a reseller control panel?
Yeah, for resellers, you would be having a dedicated reseller portal where they could go ahead and see who all are their clients, and how many, what is the total amount of license that is being purchased and everything. They have access to everything for their clients under the reseller portal.
Okay, so Robert has clarified his question. His question is, currently he's using an older version of Vembu for replication to customer site. Running out of licenses, would you supply additional licenses until you have replication feature?
Yeah, I think he's using our old version of a product, which is StoreGrid. So until we have the new version available, you could still go ahead and purchase the MCALs, and you could go ahead and use it. And we have the StoreGrid account managers available, so you could go ahead and get in touch with one of the account manager, where they could go ahead and help in purchasing additional license for the existing product.
Okay, great. Thank you, Tiago. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. I don't see any more questions coming in. Great questions, everybody. Hopefully you found the information useful. And I'm gonna give it probably like 30 seconds to a minute. If we don't get any more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end the webinar. I hope again that everything was informative for you. Okay, I have one more question coming in from Robert. Explain pricing virtual machines. Um, Sorry, something popped up. Explain pricing virtual machines. Real, Rico, expensive. How do we communicate to client?
It seems that the question is not clear. Like he's asking how to go ahead and configure a VMware backup, or how was it?
No, he's not. I don't think he's asking about VMware backing up. I think he just wants to explain where we're getting the pricing for the virtual environments.
So it's based on per ESXi host or the per Hyper-V host. So basically, we would only be charging for the host level license, and you could go ahead and have a number of VMs backed up inside that particular host using that single license.
Okay. Mike asks a question. With the next update of Vembu BDR 3, will it be possible to choose your location instead of having no choice, but the backup to the directory name SGS storage?
Okay, he's asking you could go ahead and manually select the location, the target for where the backups to be saved. You could do that from the next version, I believe.
Okay, great. Thank you. Um, okay, so I think those are all the questions we have so far. Um, I want to thank you all for joining today's webinar. At any point, if you have any more questions, you can feel free to contact us, send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to get those questions answered for you. Uh, and that's it. Thank you very much for joining today's webinar. Have a great day.